Well, Professor Plum, we have discussed this many times before. MLPs, that is a master limited partnership, not to be confused with a REIT. REITs distribute 1099s. Limited partnerships give you a distribution in the form of a K1. Professor Plum, the difference, please.
Well, as a limited partnership or as a master limited partnership, you're not just investing in a company, you're investing in a business where you are a member of that business. And in some respects, you're not a passive investor, you're part of the business, you're a partnership. And so in that respect, the MLP or the LP can distribute what's known as unrelated business taxable income. And so when that money is coming into a tax-deferred account, a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, that unrelated business taxable income, UBTI, is potentially taxable to the owner being your IRA or Roth IRA. And if you have more than $1,000 in all of your Roth IRAs combined or all of your traditional IRAs combined, then that IRA must file a tax return and pay taxes.
Now, the $1,000 is the actual reportable business income. It's not $1,000 in the Roth IRA. It's $1,000 of income reportable. So if you had $500 of this pipeline net income, you would get an exemption of $1,000.
Right, and it's actually $1,000 of unrelated business taxable income, $1,000 of UBTI, not actual cash that may be paid out, because the dividend, or the yield, I should say, that's being paid, you put in $10,000, you earn a 12% return, you get $1,200 in cash flow that goes in the IRA. That may or may not be UBTI, unrelated business taxable income. So it's the UBTI, which is listed on the K1 on a lower, box that you have to check, is where you run into problem. Not all of them issue, some of them issue negative UBTI. And I have not, in the ones that I have seen any kind of correlation between how much cash flow, physical dollars that the investment is paying, versus the UBTI that it may or may not show on that K1 tax return. But it's there, and that could create a taxable event for that IRA.
Yeah, so Dale, again, we're not discouraging you from using master limited partnerships inside of IRAs. We're just saying that, you may want to be a little bit judicious. Sometimes the return is worth paying a little bit of tax. Most of the time, though, we would say, let's try to find a different place for you to be investing in those types of partnerships, as it were. It's a very, very good question. And it is somewhat problematic because obviously you pay tax at the IRA level. That's one tax. And then when the money comes out again, you get to pay tax a second time. So you have two taxes on that income in excess of $1,000 from your business income or master limited partnerships or K1. And that's true if you're in a limited partnership with a bunch of buddies and you go out and buy an apartment building or whatever the case may be. Now, I should also point out that if you have a qualified plan, let's say you're a self-employed consultant and you have a SEP IRA that you're conducting business in doing, for example, master limited partnerships, you might be able to change your SEP IRA to some kind of a self-employed retirement plan and avoid that UBTI issue. And that's where Rob Butterfield comes in to the conversation. Rob, my understanding is if you have a qualified plan, a defined benefit plan, a 401k plan, a profit-sharing plan, that's not a simple or a SEP, which has the characterization of an IRA, that you don't have the same problems with UBTI. Would that be accurate?
It's generally accurate as long as you don't have seller financing. And also in a shopping center, if you have a percentage lease, then you could have a UBTI issue. In other words, if I'm leasing to a Jack in the Box or McDonald's and I say I get 2% of the grocery sales or gross receipts or whatever, I'm in business with these guys. And so therefore that is not necessarily exempt. But if I just say you pay me $5,000 a month and you can have the space to operate your McDonald's or whatever, then you're fine. That's in a qualified plan. In an IRA, you don't get that little treatment. It's because I think in historical reasons, if you look at any downtown in America, a major percentage of the big buildings that you see right in front of your eyes are owned by pension plans.
So they would be exempt from that percentage lease thing and all that stuff if it's a pension plan that owns
No,
it.
pension plans is not exempt from the percentage lease. They're just exempt from the UBTI part as far as unrelated debt-financed income. In other words, leverage. You could a plan can theoretically go out and borrow 80% or 99% if they can get a lender, which they can't, and buy a downtown, buy the Empire State Building, and then if they sell it, the gain is entirely tax-free. A qualified plan. But an IRA can't do that. 99% of it's going to be taxable if they make a gain.
All right, so keep in mind, this is very sophisticated stuff. It's why we're here every day to help you. This is stuff that the average advisor gets wrong and may or may not tell you about.
Well, we've had people that tell people, yeah, go buy a restaurant. You can go to the bar and get free drinks because you're an owner and use your pension money. And, that passes through as ordinary income to the plan. I mean, to the extent there's a profit.
IRAs especially subject to that.